Welcome back to Central News. Postnatal depression affects 20 to 30% of Kiwi mums, but there is a lot of other mums who are keeping silent about their problem. Breastmates is helping to bring awareness to this issue with the My Heart's Content clothing range for mum and baby. Owner of Breastmates, who has had postnatal depression herself, joins me now. Frances, thanks for coming on the show today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Katrina.
Firstly, tell us about your experience with postnatal depression.
Okay, I developed it with my second baby. When he was about 6 months old, I realised that I was in a really bad space and it wasn't normal. I read an article in a baby magazine that they had about postnatal depression and realised it was exactly my story, and it was me. Yeah.
So you realised you had postnatal depression when your second child was 6 months.
Yes.
When did you think it actually started?
Probably around 4 months or so. Yeah, and so after I read this article, I realised I'd been struggling the past few months, and I went off to the doctor and discussed it with him. Yeah.
So what sort of help out there, what sort of help was there for you when you realised you had postnatal depression?
Well, obviously I went to the doctor and got some medication, but the big thing for me was admitting that I had it. I only told my husband at the time. I was actually too ashamed to tell my mum and my sister, and it's only now that I've gone and told everybody. And then the help was really just discussing what the problems were and what could be helped. So for me, I'd put so much pressure on being the ideal mum and having the perfect home and meals cooked and everything, but no one was expecting that. So I got a little bit of help with the housework for a month or so, got some cleaners in. That was a huge help. And also just taking half an hour out of the day for myself, or going for a walk, or just sitting outside with a cup of coffee where no one expected anything of me. And even now that's a really important thing to continue as a mum.
Yeah, because I can see that for mothers, they have a crazy busy lifestyle, doing, being the housewife and all that sort of stuff, and if they work as well. So I can see the important aspect of taking that time for yourself to get sanity back, I guess.
Exactly, yeah, you just need that little bit of space, otherwise
Yeah.
you're overrun with everything.
Yeah. Now, 20 to 30% of New Zealand women have postnatal depression, but there must be an alarming amount that don't voice it. How common is it?
I think it's really common. There'll be a lot of mums that will think it's normal to feel this way, and it's not. And so that's why, by using my business profile through Breastmates and reaching out to all these mums, they might just see the story and think, oh yeah, that's me. And that's what happened with me 3 years ago when I read the article in the magazine.
Yeah. So tell us about your business, Breastmates. Why did you start it up, and what is it designed to do?
Okay, all right. Well, Breastmates was started 7 years ago. I actually started just with breast pads, and I was selling them on Trade Me. That was when my first son was born, and I was just using that for a little bit of pocket money so I could go out for a coffee and not feel bad. But it's now evolved into quite a New Zealand brand. It's a store for maternity, breastfeeding and bottle feeding, but it's also a support and a community for mums, not just a store, but a support place as well. Yeah.
So how have you helped mothers who have had postnatal depression?
By coming forward with my story and telling everyone, and also getting people to talk about it, and even encouraging people to talk to other mums about it. Because if you know a mum has it, it's much more common than they think, and they won't feel so ashamed and unusual for having it, because it is very common. I've also had discussions on my Facebook page, getting people just to share their experience and share their story or what their symptoms were, and so other people have been able to read that and go, oh my gosh, yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Now, you're also helping mothers with postnatal depression with your My Heart's Content range,
Yes.
which you're wearing a t-shirt that the mothers have, and babies there's a bodysuit.
Yes.
What is the purpose of this clothing range?
I'm selling these t-shirts to raise money for the Perinatal Mental Health Trust, and they're going to use that money to extend postnatal depression support and communication for mums. So 100% of the proceeds from these t-shirts will go towards that trust.
That's excellent. And how do mothers get their hands on one or find out more about Breastmates?
Sure, hop on the web, breastmates.co.nz. We have the t-shirts on there for $29 and there's baby bodysuits for $19, and I'll pack it up and send it out to you.
Fantastic. Now, money goes towards to help support postnatal, those ones with postnatal depression. How is postnatal depression a mental illness?
I think anything that changes the way you would think normally. When you have postnatal depression, it's hard to make decisions and you're anxious and you're just not in your normal mental capacity. So yeah, I think it just clouds that. Yeah.
Well, thanks Frances for coming on the show and telling us about Breastmates and how you're helping other mothers with postnatal depression and speaking up about it and getting help.
Cool, thank you.
Head to the website breastmates.co.nz to get your t-shirt and baby bodysuit. After the break, we have the latest in PSA.